Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. Hopefully everybody is having a fantastic Saturday so far. Let's see what we have in the chat. We have Indiana, Caleb, Randall, Armstrong, Jax, Proxy, High Seas, Catman, A and B, Diamond, as well as Johnson and Rose, as well as Catman and Chip. Glad to see you guys all in here in front of the live stream. Hopefully everyone is enjoying their Saturday so far. And also welcome everybody who is watching, may not be chatting. Glad to have you here as well. Let's go ahead and switch on over to our main scene. Give me just 1 second. All right, now we could go ahead and switch on over to our main scene. Hopefully that loads up properly, and it did. So we are going to be covering a major winter storm today out here in portions of the northern mid-Atlantic states into the New England states, where we have the opportunity to see some areas near and north of Boston could get up to a foot of snowfall over the next about 12 hours. So gonna get some pretty heavy snowfall rates out there in the northeastern U.S., especially after the time frame of 10 p.m. Eastern. That will be where our main portion of this winter storm begins. It will primarily be overnight for areas that could see up to a foot of snow. So right now, this snowstorm is currently traversing over portions of Ontario, Michigan, into Pennsylvania and western New York. It will continue to slowly drift eastward, and then it will eventually rapidly speed up here over the next couple of hours as it moves well into New York and eventually into the interior New England states. Going over to our advisories and warnings out for today, we've got most of Pennsylvania under those winter weather advisories, primarily for the potential of 1 to 4 inches of snow, depending on where you're located. Also, the chance for some ice, especially if you are in southern Pennsylvania. Also, winter weather advisories nearly, or rather, they will expire here pretty soon. Out here in Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, these will be the first advisories to go out in this region where we did have some ice occur earlier this afternoon. That was closer to about the 1 p.m. Eastern time frame, where we saw some quite a lot of ice out in those areas that are under that purple winter weather advisory back in Illinois, Indiana, and northwestern Ohio. Also got winter storm warnings out here near and in Green Bay for the next about 3 hours in Wisconsin. And then, of course, another 10 hours of winter weather advisories out there in the northern of Michigan. Main batch of warnings is going to be out here covering most of southwestern Maine into New Hampshire, most of Vermont, most of central southeastern New York, all of Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, and all of Massachusetts under those winter storm warnings. The area for the greatest snowfall totals will probably be a small band of very heavy snow generally somewhere in this area, maybe a little bit more north, maybe a little bit more south. We'll take a look at some model runs and see if those models show a very specific area for that heaviest band of snowfall to occur. Looking at your official National Weather Service forecast for snow totals here over the next, we'll just do, let's see, let's just do, what is this, 18, okay, it's 23Z here. So we'll go all the way until, kind of want to go like half of that. We'll go to 13Z, so that's like 7 a.m. or so, maybe 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So about the next, a little more than the next 12 hours here. And these are the snow totals you're looking at out here in portions of the New England states. Like I said, near and north of Boston, that's where we are going to have the best opportunity somewhere in here to see between around, we could see between a foot, maybe even up to 14 inches of snowfall in some spots, especially in like southern Vermont and far east central New York. That's where we'll probably end up seeing a little more than a foot of snowfall occurring. But as for like Massachusetts and New Hampshire, probably going to be right on the border where we see that potential for up to a foot of snowfall. Boston, still looking at a good 8 to 9 inches of snowfall out there in Boston being a very real possibility. If you're anywhere north of Boston, that gives you a better opportunity for heavier snowfall totals like in and around the Lowell area. Could see 9+ inches of snowfall being possible in that area. I think their official forecast is 8 to 12 inches of snowfall in the Lowell area. If you look on the National Weather Service page, that's their vary that they do, 8 to 12 inches of snow. Back out here towards like Albany, Johnstown areas that have already seen a lot of snow this year could pick up on an additional foot, maybe even isolated areas, even over a foot of snowfall being a possibility in this region. And then further off to the west, now take note, of course, a lot of this snowfall in this region here has already fallen. So this doesn't really include what snow we have seen in the last, or rather it does include the snowfall we've seen over the last 2.5 hours. So for like western Michigan, it says 5.5 inches of snowfall. Let's see if we have any reports out there. So you've already seen about 4 inches of snowfall in western Michigan. You'll probably end up with another 1.5 or 2 inches of snow out there over the next 3 or 4 hours before your snow stops sometime later on tonight. And in Green Bay, you guys are almost done with your snow. Green Bay, Wisconsin, forecasted to get 4 inches of snowfall. You guys have already seen, look at that. We got an overperformer right there. Almost 7 inches of snowfall being reported in Green Bay. So by the time that gets out of here, in about an hour, I'd say you probably have about an hour, maybe pushing an hour and a half of snowfall left in that area. Probably going to end up with a good 7.5, maybe even up to 8 inches of snowfall in that region. We had quite a big overperformer in terms of snowfall totals. There was a small band, like right in here. We got a small, heavy band to set up, and much of these areas in Wisconsin saw between 8.5 and 9.5 inches of snowfall. Well, there's 2 more new reports there. Well, so most of those areas saw between like 7 to 9 inches of snow. We'll say that, but you can see we've gotten reports over 9 inches of snowfall in this area, in this region of Wisconsin. You guys have seen between 7 to 9 inches of snowfall, and in Minneapolis, we actually saw between, I think, 6 to 8. We got some reports of 8 inches of snowfall in here. I'll see if I can find any. But earlier, I did see a report of 8 inches of snowfall. You see 7.3. I think that's 8 right there. Pretty sure that's an 8-inch snowfall report, barely north of the Twin Cities in southeastern Minnesota. So we've seen quite the overperforming snow totals in the Twin Cities area. And like I said, also in like this general area right in here. Somewhere generally in there. We just got a heavier band of snow to continue to train over the entirety of today until the night hours started to occur out here, towards right now is when your snow totals are starting to stop. No more snow is falling in most of this area. We do have some back-end snow beginning in the Twin Cities, but that probably won't accumulate to much at all back out in Minnesota. So we did see quite the overperforming snow event out here. I think it underperformed for portions of North Dakota and South Dakota. I don't think we performed as high-end as what we were expecting. We were thinking about 8 or 9 inches of snow in that area. I didn't see a report over about 6 or 7. So I really think that area underperformed for snowfall, but I'm not for certain. So it looks like our snowstorm underperformed for this area here, and it overperformed for, like I said, it's like a very small band that's set up somewhere in that area that gave between 7 to 9 inches of snowfall in much of that region. And then in Michigan, we didn't really take a look at snow totals for Michigan yesterday. I believe much of Michigan was expected to see between like 4 to 6 inches of snowfall. That's still on track. I don't think we'll see any areas in Michigan get above that. If we do, it would be the lake effect areas, like somewhere along the very far western portions of your oven mitt in this region here, where we may be able to see those locally higher totals, slightly above 6 inches of snow, but I don't really think we'll be able to get to over 6 inches of snow in that area. But you never know, maybe it will happen. But if it will happen, it would be, like I said, those far western areas. Probably more specifically where that snow has been the heaviest, like south of Ludington in the oven mitt of Michigan there. And then we're getting heavier snow beginning out here in like Buffalo, going towards Syracuse, Binghamton, in New York. We're starting to see that heavier snow increase in western New York. That will begin to make its way eastward. Here's your regional radar in that area. And snow has definitely begun to fill in, especially over the course of the last 30 minutes. That snow has really started to fill in over much of this radar site's region. If we look at our MRMS here, let me go back 30 minutes. So this was 30 minutes ago. You can see we had a big, large area that really didn't have any snow in it, just some flurries. And now all that region has really filled in, minus like over Buffalo. Seems like over Buffalo still hasn't seen many flakes right now, but don't worry, you'll start to see snow here. Really, at any minute, you'll most likely start seeing snow there in Buffalo, New York. Random guy, that will be something I say at the end of this month or beginning of next month. I'll put out a tornado season forecast either at the end of February or beginning of March. So your heaviest snow at the moment is making its way across portions of central Pennsylvania right in here. It's a very sharp cutoff line. We'll go to your regional radar. And you can see very sharp cutoff line between that snow and sleet. So it really just depends on where you are. I could go look here in State College. Seems like State College, Pennsylvania is still seeing relatively just snow, maybe a bit of a mixture of sleet in there. But generally, you're looking at a pretty good cutoff line here. That's going to cut off your snowfall totals significantly. I don't know if we've had any reports here. Most of this area shouldn't see much more than an inch of snow. This whole region here, we really shouldn't pick up on more than an inch of snowfall. The main area for snow will be further to the north once this snowstorm really gets going here in about 3 hours or so. Let's look at our simulated precipitation type provided by our newest HRRR model run here. So this is currently generally what your radar looks like. We have a lot of heavy snow over Pennsylvania, New York beginning, Michigan, Wisconsin, your snow's beginning to stop. And we'll continue to see this heavier band of snowfall here in Pennsylvania should push to the north and east over the next couple of hours. And you can see it really gets pushing into New York, Massachusetts, and Connecticut by the 10-11 p.m. Eastern time frame. And by 11 p.m. Eastern, that's when your major snowstorm should have taken shape here. And we'll start seeing a large area getting those heavy snowfall totals and heavy snowfall rates. And that should continue in Massachusetts. We should see that heavy snowfall for quite a long time, all the way from probably about 10 p.m., maybe 11 p.m. the latest, all the way until you're looking at like 6 a.m. before the heaviest of snow begins to move out, and then you get some flurries towards 7, 8 a.m., not nearly as heavy. So definitely going to see a long duration overnight event out here in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. There may be some sleet that mixes in the morning hours. I don't think that will be able to like affect your snow totals. If it was rain, it would be a different story, but it should be just kind of a mixture between some ice and light snowfall in that area towards the 4 a.m. time frame. So looking at the HRRR's newest projection for snowfall totals, you can see a very large area getting 6 inches of snowfall or more. This does underdo snowfall totals because we're using the 10-to-1 ratio as opposed to the, I forgot how to pronounce it. It started with a K. But that one provides more accurate snowfall total projections here. So let me go ahead and pull up that one. So this one's a more accurate map here. This is using the Kyocera. I believe that's generally how you pronounce it. Probably still butchered it. But you can see how snowfall totals are heavier on this snowfall projection. Still the HRRR. Watch if we switch to 10-to-1 ratio, how it all disappears. So I don't really like using the 10-to-1 ratio. What that means is it means that every inch of rain you get is 10 inches of snow. So I don't really like that because it doesn't factor in other things in the atmosphere. Sometimes this could be a little bit inaccurate. Sometimes it could slightly underdo or slightly overdo totals. But generally, if it's available, I want to use this snow accumulation over the 10-to-1 ratio. So like I was mentioning, we're going to see this large area get 7 to 9 inches of snowfall here in much of Massachusetts, southern New Hampshire, southern Vermont, central New York. And then we're going to get a little band. This looks like it sets up a band here of 8 to 10 inches of snowfall, as well as like generally in this region here for 8 to 10 inches of snowfall. So this has like two very specific areas that end up getting those heaviest snowfall rates. We'll see what the new HRRR, which is still rendering in now, has. This only goes out 13 hours. So just to compare those two, it looks like the new one has shifted it a little bit more. It shifted the overall heaviest snowfall totals, like the 7 to 9 snowfall range has shifted northward. But the area where we could see the heaviest snowfall right in here has shifted a little bit more to the south as opposed to your earlier model run. But generally we're looking at 7 to 9 inches of snowfall in this whole area, with some isolated areas potentially getting up to a foot of snowfall, especially like I said in east central New York, southern Vermont, southern New Hampshire, and just to the north and west of Boston, Massachusetts there. And yeah, that is all your main HRRR model run things I wanted to look at. We could, of course, look at the NAM, but the NAM has most of this staying as snow, so it's probably pretty aggressive. Yeah, you can see the NAM has up to 15 inches of snowfall in some spots here. I would assume most of these little spots are probably mountains here. That's why it's higher on the NAM model run as well. But it gives a few spots of at or over a foot of snowfall in New York, New Hampshire, and into Vermont as well. So the main reason for those overdoing snowfall totals would probably be due to your sleet staying further to the south. But if we go to what our radar looks like now, this isn't really that far off. The NAM model really isn't doing a terrible job here. We do have more snow filling in here in New York than what the NAM 3K thinks is actually occurring, so it is a little off there. But it's not doing a terrible job. Normally, it's like very far off, so it's not doing horrific. You can see how fast that little snow hole is filling in and around Buffalo. It's going to be filling in very, very quickly. All right. We'll come back to this in just a bit. I want to go over some future projections for snow totals and snowstorms as well as severe weather in the U.S. So let me go ahead and switch all on over to this one right here, this scene. So this is we're going to go a little bit further out here. So this is obviously the snowstorm we're tracking right now. Once that gets out of here, we're going to have a bit of a break tomorrow. We won't be live tomorrow. I'm going to take one day off tomorrow. We'll be right back here on Monday. And once we start up the live stream on Monday, we're going to have a quick hitting, I don't think snowstorm. I don't think it will be a quick hitting snowstorm for this area, but it could bring some lower end snow totals, potentially 3 to 4 inches of snow in some spots in that area I've circled for Monday night into very early Tuesday morning. But I do think as we go into very early Tuesday morning and really all day Tuesday, we are going to actually see a snowstorm here in Virginia, portions of the mid-Atlantic states. Maybe in Kentucky, that's a little bit of a question mark, but we could have snowstorm warnings go up as far west as Kentucky for this system here. If we go ahead and pull this out, this is till Wednesday morning. You can see the heaviest of snowfall will be centered over Virginia and eastern Kentucky. So we'll most likely end up with winter storm warning criteria in that area. As for Kentucky, Illinois, Missouri, we may see some scattered winter weather advisories, maybe a winter storm warning. It just depends if models increase or decrease with snowfall totals as we get closer to the event. Then as we go into Wednesday afternoon, we will begin to see probably a major snowstorm, if not major. It will be very, very close to a major snowstorm begin to form out here in portions of Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, into Illinois, where we could see some widespread areas of 6 to 8 inches of snowfall. In some regions will probably end up picking up near a foot of snowfall during the duration of this potential major snowstorm there. And then as we go into Thursday, that will move up into Canada and the far interior New England states. It will bring some snow totals there. If we look at your 24-hour snow accumulation, you can see it will bring some snow totals for northern New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Nothing really significant. Maybe some isolated areas up to 6 or 7 inches of snowfall Thursday afternoon, but not anything notable. Your most notable area will be back out here in Missouri and Kansas, where we could see within 24 hours, you could see up to 9 inches of snowfall, potentially even greater than that because your event will last a bit longer than 24 hours in this area. For Kansas City, snow will begin probably around 3 a.m. Wednesday, and it won't end until possibly as late as Thursday morning near 7 a.m. So it will likely be about a 24-hour possible major snowstorm out there in Kansas City. And then pushing that out further here, going on into Friday, should be a relatively tame Friday day. However, as we get into Friday night and Saturday morning, we'll be watching our next big system. This is where we start to get a little bit more uncertainty, quite a bit more uncertainty thanks to us pulling this out pretty far. I will quickly go check the official forecast from the Weather Prediction Center. All right, so they are forecasting the opportunity for heavy snowfall, specifically in the New England states. They are at least giving an opportunity for some snow. They don't have it being heavy snow, but at least an opportunity for some snow Saturday morning in this region. GFS is quite aggressive with that. And then the Weather Prediction Center does say heavy snowfall across this portion of the United States into Canada as we go through very, very early Sunday morning, very late Saturday night. And after that, we'll go on into Monday next week. This is getting pretty far out there. We're 200. This is February 18th, by the way. This is not this upcoming Monday, the next Monday. So not 2 days away, 9 days away. So very far away. This is where your inaccuracy is high, and it really doesn't show the most active pattern between like Monday and Thursday or Friday next week. It really doesn't show a whole lot from about the 18th all the way till like the 22nd of February. But that's probably going to end up changing. We'll wait until we get closer to discuss that pattern. So the main area for snowstorms out of this pattern, definitely in the northeastern United States, but also over much of the central U.S. I really think we'll be getting a lot of snowfall out there. If we look at your total snow accumulations, you can clearly see two areas here that really get very heavy amounts of snowfall. Pretty good chunk of the central United States, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Illinois, into Indiana, maybe as far south as northern Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, get quite heavy snowfall there. And then the second area is back out here in the mid-Atlantic area. In this region, I'm watching for my neck of the woods. It is a very brutal cutoff. It is a brutal mid-Atlantic cutoff here between who could see up to a foot of snowfall and who could see literally a trace to barely anything at all as we go through. I don't know exactly what day this happens. This is Wednesday, February 12th. Tuesday the 11th into the 12th on Wednesday. And you can see that brutal cutoff here between rain and snow. And that's not going to be something models are going to be able to handle very well. So if you are watching from portions of Southern Virginia, say like Virginia Beach, Norfolk, back out here towards Danville, where I am in Martinsville, back out towards Southwestern Virginia and Kentucky, don't fully lose hope in that area. You could still end up getting a snowstorm. All it takes is, a 20-mile shift to the south, and that whole area ends up with heavier snowfall than what's originally forecasted. So don't lose all hope just yet. We're going to monitor it and see what the forecast looks like as we get closer to the event, because we're still a good 84 hours out from the heaviest snow beginning out here in Virginia. That's quite a lot of time for change. Let's look at the NAM model. Now, the NAM model says you might as well just lose all hope. I wouldn't lose all hope just yet. That's very far north. Let's look at some comparison here. So that's your GFS model run, Canadian model run, and European model run. It looks like the GFS is by far the most aggressive. This is your Euro model here, by the way. But you can see your Euro still gives a large area between 8 to a foot of snowfall. A little bit more snow further south. Like I said, you don't want to lose all hope down there. You could end up with some snow. So you never know. We'll just keep watching it. But there's definitely the opportunity for some change here and some big shifts here in the forecast for Virginia. It is never a straightforward forecast for Virginia, ever. Severe weather, ice, snow, anything, heavy rain, flooding. It is never a straight snowfall forecast for Virginia, because we have this stubborn range here called the Appalachian Mountain Range that always allows for higher uncertainty forecast east of those Appalachians, or even on those Appalachians, which allows for, like I said, a more of a question mark out there in Virginia and North Carolina for really any type of system or, threat of significant weather, whether that be severe weather or snow. For Michigan, your best chance for heavy snow in Michigan will definitely be with this snowstorm here very early Thursday morning. That will be the snowstorm that hits Kansas City Wednesday, move up towards Michigan on Thursday. And that will definitely be able to bring, this might be a little bit aggressive, but that is... Nope. All models agree with you getting a foot of snowfall or more. There's your GFS. Foot of snowfall. Euro. Foot of snowfall. Ooh. Foot of snowfall. There you go. And the Canadian model run also says... Canadian's a little bit more conservative. 10 inches of snowfall. But generally, they are all in good agreement. They're all in really good agreement. That would be Thursday, right? Yep. Let's hope I pull up the right link here. Gonna play the guessing game. This one. Okay. So that is for February. I want to get the exact date. Okay, it is February 13th. And this one here. Yep, so here you go. This is the official Weather Prediction Center forecast for the early morning hours of the 13th. And look at that very large area for heavy snowfall. And you're included in that. Almost the entire state of Michigan included in that area for heavy snowfall. Much of Pennsylvania, all of the New England states, much of the Midwestern U.S., and much of the Great Lakes included in that area for very heavy snowfall early morning on the 13th. Now, if we go back to day 4 here, there it is on the afternoon of Wednesday. Very large area for heavy snowfall across much of Kansas, much of Missouri, much of Illinois, much of Iowa. So they're really going all out with their snowfall forecast here. And then as we go, I do want to check day 4. Is that going to... I don't think this is going to show it here for... No, it's not going to be able to show it here for our neck of the woods. Out here in Virginia, it's going to be more on the 11th, the night of the 11th into the morning of the 12th. So we can't really look at that on this particular page. Um, honestly, from what it looks like with what the Weather Prediction Center is forecasting for my area, it really doesn't look like a thing. Did I get the wrong date? Nope, the 11th. I mean, the WPC is really just forecasting rain for that day. They're not even forecasting snow in central Virginia, so that's interesting. I wonder why they're not. We'll have to see what they say tomorrow because that's got to be wrong. I'm very confident we're going to see an area of potentially locally a major snowstorm out here in Virginia, especially in the higher elevations. Going to have a snowball fight in Kansas City. Yep, we were just looking at that day here. This is this is for Wednesday, that Wednesday afternoon. This is the official forecast from the Weather Prediction Center. Heavy snow across almost the whole state of Missouri and Illinois. It's not going to be a little winter storm. And then you can see it progresses off to the east there. The more accurate ones are every 6 hours. So this is 06Z, 18Z, 06Z, 18Z for the 5th, 06Z, 18Z for the 14th, and then the 15th. There you go. Look at that. On the 15th, they already are forecasting snow up there in the northeastern U.S. Weather apps, I don't know. Weather apps are, I find them inaccurate. I really do. I don't personally own any weather apps because I just find them all inaccurate in terms of like, the Weather Channel or AccuWeather or any of the mobile apps you get. Like the Windows weather app, that one's very inaccurate too. I've seen it put out some crazy forecasts, but Apple Weather, I think it's called Apple Weather, that's got to be the worst one. That has to be the worst one. Apple Weather, I've seen that put out like 16, 18 inches of snowfall for Washington, D.C., and then Washington, D.C. only ends up with a bit of sleet and up to a half an inch of snow. So, from what I have seen personally, looks like the absolute worst thing is probably Apple Weather. Yeah. So this is all of it. This is the morning of the 12th. It's very early morning. This is like 3 a.m., 7 a.m. See how it doesn't move? I swear, it's just kind of like glitches like that. That's why I only like looking at the every 12-hour forecast here. So that's like 3 a.m. Actually, that's 1 p.m. Oh my goodness. 1 a.m., 1 p.m. for the 12th. 1 a.m., 1 p.m. for the 13th. 1 a.m., 1 p.m. for the 14th. And 1 a.m., 1 p.m. for the 15th. Right now, if you're just now tuning in, two new mesoscale discussions just recently got issued out here in the northeastern U.S. for our ongoing major winter storm. See what both of them say. So this one here, that includes much of Massachusetts, Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, and portions of central southern New York, says a leading edge of mixed winter precipitation will begin as heavy snow with 1 to 2 inch per hour rates will begin. Further to the south side of this mesoscale discussion, the transition from sleet and freezing rain will turn on into snow. And then really far south, back here towards like Pennsylvania, that mesoscale discussion, that is for snow transitioning into sleet and freezing rain. So this area here is just going to be completely filling in with very heavy snowfall. This area here is going to be transitioning from snow to sleet over the next couple hours. The NWS needs an app. It's called the Weather Prediction Center. Look up WPC on any browser. And then there you go. And then, of course, you have the National Weather Service page. But if you mean like something in like the Apple Store or Play Store, there really isn't a point for that because you could just look it up on your browser no matter what device you're in. Or on. What device you're in? What the heck? Here's another WPC forecast. This is from their page. Oh, I didn't even know this was interactable. Oh, shoot. You learn something new every day. Look at that. I had no idea you could interact with this map. Dang, bro. I had no clue about that. Let's get rid of the rain and the mixed precipitation and the snow. We'll just get rid of everything. We'll just put on the snow. We'll put on the snow and the rain. How about that? It looks weird without everything. There you go. So that blue is mixed precipitation, green is rain, and then white is pure snow. And this is for Wednesday, right? Oh, no, this is for... I don't even know. This is for the 10th. That's for the 10th. I feel like that's Monday. Am I wrong on that? Isn't that Monday? The 10th is... Yeah, that's Monday. So this isn't even our primary winter storm. So this is for Monday. And they're forecasting this large area for snow. Now, they didn't include a heavy snow risk for this. They've just included a large area for snow. So day 3, just a very large area for snow. It doesn't say heavy snow. Whereas today, we of course have the risk for heavy snow in the New England states there. This is your fronts forecast as well. That's for Monday night. Wow. We actually might have a snowstorm before the snowstorm here on Monday. Because our main snowstorm's coming in on Wednesday out here in the Central Plains. But we might actually get a pre-snowstorm on Monday. At least out there for the central United States. Let's do 24-hour totals here. It really doesn't look that crazy on the GFS. I mean, the GFS only has a little bit of snow. Maybe the only area that could accumulate is near and south of the Kansas City metro area, Missouri. Also in eastern Kansas. But that's only areas of 2 to 3, or rather 1 to 3 inches of snow. Switch you over there so you can see it. There you go. That is for Tuesday. Or Monday night into Tuesday. And then out here in Virginia, I mean, look at that. That is 24-hour snowfall rates right there. And they are quite aggressive. Oh my goodness, that is almost unbelievable right there. Oh yeah, right. Sure. 16 inches of snowfall in that area. That's like near Richmond. That's not gonna happen. This is more believable, where we have a large area seeing 4 to 6 inches of snowfall in here, and then a local amount of 8 inches to a foot of snowfall. So I'm definitely going to watch that, because that seems like it's uptrending quite a bit on the newer models there. Back to 24-hour snowfall rates here. So that's your first major winter storm is happening right now across the New England states into all day tomorrow as well. And, oh wait, hold on. Actually, I want to check. Into much of the day tomorrow. It will be out of the New England states tomorrow afternoon. Then as we go on into Monday, our second potential major winter storm could begin to form out there in portions of the Central Plains. However, the major impacts would actually be back out into northwestern Virginia, into far eastern Kentucky as we go through Tuesday. Then as we go into Wednesday, again, this is 24-hour snowfall rates. So this isn't your total snowfall rates. It's 24-hour snowfall rates. Going into Wednesday, much of Kansas, much of Nebraska, much of Iowa, much of Missouri ends up with the potential for a major snowstorm as well. I do think this is going to end up being a major snowstorm here on Wednesday. I'm not so sure about the one in Virginia on Tuesday, but the one on Wednesday in Missouri, really centered on Kansas City. I'm pretty sure that's going to end up being a major snowstorm for Wednesday into early morning Thursday. Continuing through early morning Thursday, now on into early Friday, that will get up out there into the New England states into Thursday, very early morning Friday, and then really move into much of Canada or portions of southeastern Canada going on into Friday night and Saturday. Then we'll be watching our next snowstorm going into next Saturday. That's a week from today. Not sure on placement of that. Right now, the Weather Prediction Center is confident in a snowstorm in the northeastern U.S., but they really don't mention much of a snowstorm out in this region where the GFS has those heavier snowfall totals up to 8-9 inches of snowfall, where we've already seen 8 or 9 inches of snowfall today, exactly a week from today again. So literally a week apart, potentially major snowstorms there as well. And then after that, we start getting very inaccurate. It's really not, you really shouldn't look at more than 219 frames out here on this particular run, because that's when we get very high inaccuracy. We got to get through this train of 1, 2, 3, 4 possible major winter storms before we start talking about the snowstorms possible in the middle and end of February. Because models are going to be all over the place for the middle and end of February till we get closer. I want to mention the potential for severe weather just briefly here. I do believe we're going to end up with a severe weather threat going into Wednesday and Thursday. My confidence has grown in a severe weather threat here in the southern U.S., most likely in this region here. Specifically right where that instability would be highest, which is right where I've drawn in pink. That's where I'm most confident in severe weather being possible Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And then I'm not fully confident in it yet, but I'm starting to see more signs and signals towards a better threat for severe weather on Saturday over much of Louisiana, portions of Mississippi into southeastern Texas. So those are the 3 days I'm watching. I'm now watching Wednesday night into Thursday, and then Saturday. That is next week. There have been some whispers of severe weather possible on Tuesday, as you can see on the GFS model. If we do end up with any severe weather here, it would likely be very limited to the Gulf coastline, and it would likely be very limited towards more of a marginal risk for severe weather, whereas I do think we could end up seeing a slight risk, maybe a slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center on their day 4 through 8 outlooks here for Wednesday, for Wednesday into Thursday, and then also for Saturday. I haven't read their discussion again. So let me go read their discussion for this severe threat. So Wednesday the 12th and Saturday the 15th. So that is day 5 right now and day 8. Day 5, predictability too low. Day 8, predictability too low, which if you don't know, that means they're watching for the potential of severe weather, but exactly where is uncertain. Severe weather potential is expected to increase by the middle portion of next week as an upper level trough ejects through portions of the southern and central plains. Moisture that is expected to remain just off the Gulf Coast will advect northward on Tuesday into Wednesday. At least some severe storms could form on the far southern portions of the Gulf coastline into Mississippi on Wednesday. Early day precipitation, stronger forcing displaced more to the north, and an upper level winds will roughly parallel to the surface boundary, reducing confidence in a more widespread severe weather threat on Wednesday. On Thursday, the front will continue to push into the southeastern portions of the United States, where an upper level flow will remain strong over the region, but the mid-level ascent over the surface cyclone will begin to move further north, and the warm sector will likely be too narrow. By next week, So this is probably going into day 8. The cold front is forecasted to stall near the Gulf Coast. Another slightly more amplified upper level trough will move across portions of the central U.S. into next weekend. Depending on the degree of cold air intrusion from the Gulf on Thursday and Friday, as well as the strength and upper level trough and surface cyclone, a more robust moisture return will be possible towards the weekend. Uncertainty remains high at this point. Models have not overall been consistent on this signal. However, in the past 1 to 2 runs, trends will be continued to be monitored for the potential of severe weather. So it looks like they're really talking about day 8. They're more focused on day 8. They mention the chance for severe weather Wednesday, but they're not overly confident in a widespread severe threat on Wednesday, thanks to really what we were talking about before, not great ascent thanks to this trough being not as, what is the word I'm looking for? Let me go back to the SPC so I can find the word. Amplified. I didn't have to go back. Not as amplified. This trough won't be as amplified. You can see this large area of just generalized zonal flow with a short wave embedded out here towards, Dixie Alley in the south central U.S. on Wednesday. So that could create some subtle forcing, which will allow for the opportunity for some severe storms, but widespread severe storms most likely won't occur on that day. Did I say subtle forcing? I meant I meant significant forcing. I meant significant forcing because you can see all the divergence here where your winds go up like this and like this. So you have a big void in the atmosphere, specifically on the southern side here. And that allows for just precipitation to fire everywhere. Just everywhere you get precipitation. Because you can see these contours are going up like this. These are going this way. It doesn't create the biggest void. This is really not a strong signal for severe weather at all. I could show you a better example here going into Saturday. Even that doesn't have much divergence with it. I mean, you really don't have a lot of divergence there. It really doesn't look good on the wind side of things. I gotta be honest, that they're not organized. We don't have any widespread divergence here to allow for a large area of severe weather. Like I did point out, though, this is still a pretty large area of divergence, but it's not significant in terms of a very focused area for development. It's kind of it's kind of a widespread area of just precipitation as opposed to a focused area of divergence. So that will allow for a very messy severe weather setup. And I believe even going into Saturday, it's probably, yeah. I mean, even going into Saturday, you can see it looks like your main divergence is in this area here. Right all in this region here. But there's no focused area for divergence. There's no very focused area for divergence. So that's really not the best scenario either. I wish I could show you. Here, I'll show you something. I'll show you it better. I'll show you something way better. Let me go here. Show you what divergence looks like. What a good divergence looks like in second tornado season. Let me show you what a good divergence looks like. 500 millibars. And let's go here. Give me just a second. I gotta pull it all up. There we go. Let me check one last thing before I show you guys this. Give me just a second. I want to go to your mesoanalysis here. So here you go. This is what a good trough looks like in second season for severe weather. That's what a good trough looks like for severe weather in second season right there. I'm going to pull this back over here. Let me fix it again. It glitched when I moved it to my second monitor. Let me change it back to here. See how it's a negative tilt? Compare the two. You can compare the two. That's a good trough ejection for severe weather. That's what we have for Saturday. Notice the difference? If you're not really looking, it could probably look pretty similar. But there is indeed a major difference in that. Let's see. I wanna find a good example of it. I want to find a good example of divergence here. Oh well. That was a good that was an okay example. It wasn't perfect. I'd like to go to this might be one that could show it better. Same day. There we go. Retrieve 500 millibar analysis. Oops, probably want to select the correct year. Alright, but anyways, yeah, just overall, we're not looking at the best setup for severe weather. We're really not looking at the best setup for severe weather. You know what? Actually, I want to check this just briefly. There you go. Now that's a trough ejection. There. There's your diffluence right there. Divergence, rather. See how much it spreads apart? See how you've got this wind barb going up and over like that, and then this one's going over like this. Now that is widespread, very widespread diffluence. Or divergence, my bad. Keep calling it diffluence. Same thing. It's the same thing. Divergence, diffluence. It's generally the same thing. It's just, it's more commonly called divergence. It's the spreading of winds in the upper levels. I'm sure nobody recognizes this day. Indiana totally didn't just say it right off the bat. But I just wanted to show you an example of a good trough ejection. Now you know what a good trough looks like. This is a bad trough. This is a bad trough ejection here. I will admit it's not terrible. It is not terrible. If we had this set up in like the summer, it would probably result in a pretty substantial severe weather threat in Dixie Alley. However, it's second season. And in second season, a trough ejection like this is not going to cut it, period. It is not going to cut it at all. You are going to have a more well-defined trough in second season that will be able to pull up any little instability that we have towards the area, the warm sector and the favorable area for severe weather. And just a trough like this It will do it in normal tornado season. Like if we saw this trough in April or May, we would probably end up with the potential for a significant tornado threat. But talking in February, heck no. Heck no. Best at best, you're going to end up with a threat for damaging winds. Like worst case scenario is where is damaging winds there. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Reason number one is lack of instability. Reason number two is not the best EML. I can already tell you. I can already tell you if we take a sounding here, we ain't gonna have the best elevated mix layer. So overall, just oh my goodness, you don't even have an elevated mix layer. Look at it. You could barely see it, but look on the kind of the left side of your screen right here. You don't even have an EML. So whilst you have great kinematics, I'll zoom it out for you. Like an A plus in kinematics here. See that? It's not a bad trough. It's not bad for kinematics. It's an A plus for kinematics. You've got almost 300 surface to 1 kilometer shear, about a 45 knot lower level jet. And you've got A plus veering, A plus hodograph. I mean, it's not bad at all. And then you look at the thermodynamics side of things, 600 instability, 42 cap, 5.4 lower level lapse rate that's just not gonna cut it. You can see the lapse rates right there. That's not gonna cut it. And I believe this, if I'm not right, this is for Thursday or Wednesday night actually. Yeah, Wednesday night into very early Thursday. So it is not bad. Like I said, if we saw this type of trough in April or May, it would be a substantial setup. Because what it is it's a large, it is a very large positively tilted trough here with an embedded large negatively tilted shortwave. There we go. Shortwave. Yeah, instability would have to uptrend, and that would be pretty difficult to see a notable uptrend in instability. I think the best way for an uptrend to occur would be this entire trough shifts south. The whole thing south. The entire belt of flow south. And I think that would help pick up some more instability and most likely result in a better severe weather threat. A higher end severe weather threat. Or would it be better for it to all go north? I feel like it would be more beneficial if it all went south, but yeah, probably more south. That way it could become more amplified. That's not enough digging. It doesn't have enough digging. You know, you need to see a good swinging trough. You need to have a good swinging trough. Like Saturday's threat, it's going to be a good swinging trough. See how it swings quite well? And that will allow for instability to be flung up in front of your trough, aka it forms your warm sector for Saturday into Sunday. And you could see that right there. Look at that. A nice, beautiful warm sector all over Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi Saturday afternoon. Because you get that swinging motion with your trough. And for Thursday, it's just kind of like, boo, I'm there. So, I think Saturday has the best opportunity to be a substantial severe weather threat out of all of our upcoming severe weather days, which will mainly be Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I think Saturday has the best chance. And the only reason for that is because it has a more amplified trough. Even though it is positively tilted, it's still more amplified, which will allow for some instability. I don't know if it would actually be 2,500 or however much the GFS has here. How much is that? Oh, I was way off. 1,800, 2,000 instability. I don't know if it would end up being that much, but you can see that is a good warm sector there for second season. But because it's a positive tilt trough, now you're struggling with wind shear. Still enough wind shear though. What about lower level jet? Yeah. Yeah. It's it's enough, but your kinematics go down thanks to it being a positive tilt trough there. Let's take a. I'm not gonna cherry pick this. I'm just gonna hold it somewhere. Okay, it went somewhere in Louisiana. I don't want to fully cherry pick it. You still barely have an EML. It may be an EML here, partially. Not really, not a good EML, but it looks like you might have an EML there in the 700 millibar, which is that's. See if that holds. No, it's messy still. So it's not a strong enough EML. You need a strong EML. For instance, the EML we had on April 27th, 2011, you should have seen that. This green, the EML was like over here. Like the EML was ridiculous for anywhere in the US. It was a crazy EML on that day. That's the type of EML you need in Dixie Alley because Dixie Alley tends to be messier setups. But then, even with a weaker EML, you could still get confluence bands, which pretty much, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty confident confluence bands are going to be your main cause for tornadoes in Dixie Alley. It won't be like linear tornadoes or discrete supercells. It would be a confluence band forming supercells. That would probably end up being the leading cause for tornadoes in Dixie Alley. I'm not for sure though. I haven't done any research on it. I'm more of a plains person. I'm not a fan of Dixie Alley for storm chasing, so that's not where I've put my research in. Nope, I think it'll be relatively sunny for Daytona 500. The later you get, the better chance you'll have for rain. At least from what I can tell. Yeah, see? What in the name of almighty is the Canadian doing? Oh my goodness. I'm not a fan of this model run. I apologize to any Canadians, but I'm not a fan of your model run here. I think it's not that accurate of a model. I love how high resolution it is though. I actually have a Canadian friend. I'm going to ask him. How good do you think the Canadian model is? I want to see what he says because he lives in Canada. And he's a big time weather enthusiast. Now, our model run here in the US is the GFS. Because that's the American model run. And if you texted me, how good is the GFS model? I'd say it's really good between 3 and 180 hours out. But after 180 hours out, you might as well just throw it in the trash can for anything specific. Now you can use the GFS for talking about whatchamacallit, patterns. Patterns, that's a big recognition to forecast. If you can't recognize patterns and what generalized pattern you're going into on a given month, it's going to be extremely difficult to try and forecast what may happen accurately. So beyond 180 hours out, I normally start looking at the pattern as opposed to specifics. But of course, you'll catch me quite frequently looking at hurricanes and snowstorms and severe threats beyond 180 hours out because it's impossible not to. I mean, come on. The GFS goes out friggin' 384 hours out, right? I'm going to check a little bit more than 180 hours out there. Well, now that we're done with our severe weather rant, this major snowstorm is now moving all the way into Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Hampshire. We talked so long about severe weather, a whole entire new portion of snow started to form. You're starting to get your more major snowstorm look. starting to become more widespread. Actually, Tyler, our models have started to our what is it? Climatology models. There you go. Our climatology models have started to render in and reach to hurricane season, and I think for my hurricane season, it's very preliminary, like stupid preliminary, but I'll probably be forecasting slightly above average for hurricane season. We'll see what it looks like in July. I'm gonna wait all the way till probably like, oh, I don't. Do I put my forecast out in May? I think I put it out in May actually. So we'll wait till the end of May or beginning of July to put out our forecast for hurricane season, but I'll probably end up going with an above average, barely above average hurricane season, barely. I won't be forecasting nearly as high as I did last year because I don't know if we're ever going to see a year like 2024 ever. That year shattered records in all realms, man. And 2025 starting off very strong, very, very strong with winter weather. Very strong. We'll see how it continues into severe weather. Which, like I said, I'll probably release my tornado forecast at the end of February. I may wait until as late as early March, but I'm aiming for end of February. And we got our weather-wise video that's coming out on the 14th of Friday, which should be a relatively inactive day weather-wise. Ooh. Maybe a little bit of a close call for Daytona 500 in Florida on Sunday, but hopefully the system slows down. If it speeds up, Daytona's going to be flooded out. If it slows down, then we won't even have a concern for rain. How much snow do you think Chicago will get this Wednesday and Thursday? I don't know if you're a big snow lover, but I swear Chicago has been in a snow hole. You've been in like a snow hole this year. So if you're a snow lover, I really hope you're going to get a lot of snow. If not, well, let's hope that snow hole continues. But I'll go ahead and tell you right now. I'm going to look at all the model runs off screen. Okay, a very average forecast here. So going to the most likely case scenario, I would say you're probably going to end up getting between like 5 and 6 inches of snow. Let me give you the day. Probably Wednesday night into early morning Thursday. I would say you got a good chance at 5 or 6 inches of snow. Reed was saying a similar pattern to 2011's season. Yeah, we saw that in December. I believe December we were thinking 2025 would be more of a 2011 type pattern. Not saying it would exactly end up being 2011 by any means, but just the pattern of Dixie Alley coming back. Now that we're, just, we're like 20 days. When is meteorological spring? I swear, aren't we just like exactly 20 days away? I think we are exactly 20 days away. March 1st. 2021. Right around there. So we're under 3 weeks away from tornado season beginning. So now that we're under 3 weeks away from tornado season beginning, I don't think Dixie Alley will be returning as significantly as what we were originally talking about. But I'll dive on into all that in my tornado season forecast. I don't want to spoil it all because I got to make a whole video out of it. Let's see here. I may or may not be checking the climatology models for hurricane season and severe weather season right now. But I'm not going to let you take any peeks at it. Because this is... I'll show this stuff for our video. No spoilers, exactly. Can't spoil it. And I don't think I'll heavily edit it this year. I think I'm going to do a... I'll still edit it, of course, because I'm not going to stop editing my videos ever. But I don't think I'll heavily edit anything ever again because it takes so much effort. Like, the heavily edited videos I did last year, I was spending like 5 hours editing those things. Because I'm not a professional editor. So, things that would take people... You know, a normal person who's been editing a lot, it would take them probably an hour and a half. It took me like 4 or 5. But like I said, I'm still going to edit it. I'm not going to put my videos as effortless. I can't wait to start making that video, though. It's fun to make those longer range forecasts, even though they're never fully accurate. It's really fun to just try to predict your long-term weather pattern and your season as a whole. Let's look at our local radar here. You can see that sleet has slowly been shifting more and more to the northeast with time. That's going to continue over the next couple hours, and that probably won't be stopping anytime soon. We're going to keep seeing that sleet push north more and more. I'm pretty sure we are seeing a little bit of an overperforming event out here in central PA snow-wise. Because this is a pretty widespread band of heavy snow that was not really in the forecast. According to the HRRR, you could get as much as 5 inches of snow in some spots out here in north central PA. And I don't think that was ever in the forecast here. I mean, if we look 2 to 4, actually 2 to 4 with isolated areas up to 5. So they are forecasting that now. But they most likely changed that, but because beforehand, we really were thinking that most of Pennsylvania was going to end up with just ice. I thought it was going to be a very brutal cutoff, like this, for instance, what the GFS has. That's what I was thinking. You know, mainly all of your snow being in far northern PA into mostly New York. But if you look at the newest HRRR, that's not new. This one here, see the widespread area of 4 to 5 out there in most of northern PA. That model run's not done, by the way, so those lower end snow totals you saw for the New England states, ignore those until the model run's done. How much you want to bet when Caleb's able to tune in? I know he just tuned in for a minute, but when he's able to completely tune in, I'll probably end up ending. That's how it goes. Like I said, I won't be live tomorrow. I'm going to take a break tomorrow for very non-obvious reasons. If you've ever paid attention to the sports world, you may know why. And we'll be right back here Monday. 6 p.m. Monday Eastern. We will be right back at it. I would really love to get a video on Monday. I hope I have time to. I would love to get a video out Monday. And then, like I said, the next video after Monday. So I'll try to get a video Monday. I really hope I'll be able to on Monday. And then our next video will be the weather-wise video a week from yesterday. So 6 days away, the 14th of February. And then... I wonder. We'll probably have another normal video sometime around the 20th of February. And then our last video of February will hopefully be the tornado season forecast. So it's going to go normal video, weather-wise, normal video, tornado season forecast, and then March. And we'll have a bunch of live streams between all that. We'll probably be live another, let's see, one, two. Let me see. I'm going to try to give you a very early forecast here of my live streams. So Monday will be live. Tuesday, unless I'm chasing or getting a bunch of snow, will be live Tuesday. Wednesday will definitely be live Wednesday, so that's 3 days. Thursday, probably going to end up live streaming Thursday, but that is a little bit more iffy. Friday will be the weather-wise video, so I'll most likely take that day off live streaming. And then we'll probably, I don't know about Saturday, Sunday, or Monday next week because I'll have a surprise for you guys next weekend. So stay tuned to the channel for a surprise in a week. I'll definitely be live one of those days. I'll definitely be live one of those days for sure. Probably Saturday. But it depends on NASCAR. There's a lot of there's the biggest NASCAR race of the year is happening Sunday next year or next week. I said next year, next week. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday are all NASCAR races. So we'll see. We'll see about live streams on any of those days, but I'll try my best to live stream at minimum one of those days, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday next week, because we'll have a snowstorm going through the Midwestern U.S. and the New England states, taking almost. I mean, really taking almost the exact path this one's or it's going to take pretty much the exact path that this one's taken. That is a double-digit snowfall report that just came in Wisconsin. 10 inches of snow right there. Southwest of Big Falls in Wisconsin. That is our highest snowfall report. Oh, well, look at that. So remember how I said this underperformed in North Dakota? We just got 2 reports of 10 inches of snow, so I completely take that back. That overperformed. So this overperformed in North Dakota, South Dakota, Twin Cities in Minnesota, and here in central Wisconsin as well. Now we'll see if it overperforms in the New England states, which it is already overperforming in Pennsylvania, so we'll see about it overperforming in New York or Massachusetts once I wake up tomorrow morning. I'll check snowfall reports. There's a map for that. Snowfall reports. There's a 24-hour snowfall report map. It's very laggy. Pretty sure it's very laggy. Yep, I got it. So I'll check that when I wake up tomorrow morning. Yeah, here you go. This shows you the band. Look. This shows you it very well. See the tiny band right here where we saw an overperformance in snow totals. That little band right there. All those reports shows you. That shows you your overperforming band that we had. That small little area got an overperformance. We've only gotten 2 reports in Michigan and then 1 in New York, 4.6 inches of snow. 2, actually. 2, very close to each other. 4.6, 4.5. How much do you think Long Island can get? Let me go ahead and check for Long Island. Long Island, widespread 2 to 4 inches of snowfall. I probably wouldn't say more than that. Oh, well, they're forecasting 3 to 6, or 3 to 5, rather. Let me take a look at a bunch of other models here. This is the official forecast. They're officially forecasting 4 inches of snow across all of Long Island, isolated areas of 5. Let me go over to COD weather. Yeah, I would say pretty much all of Long Island will see 3 to 5 inches of snowfall. I agree with the NWS. Localized areas may be able to see barely over 5 inches of snow, but generally you're looking at 3 to 5. The heaviest snowfall totals will most likely be around Smithtown. This county right here will probably end up with the most snowfall totals. That's where I would have the best chance of seeing 5 or greater inches of snowfall. Yeah, I hope New York City gets snow. They're definitely going to get snow today. I don't know how much. They're forecasting 3 to 5 inches of snowfall there. That's a good amount. But unfortunately, they're going to get a lot of ice tomorrow morning. That's going to really hurt their snowfall totals. So by the time people wake up tomorrow, there's probably not going to be more than about 2 inches of snow actually on the ground in New York City. Yeah, northern New York City, like this area, kind of this region here. So kind of barely north of New York City and kind of northern New York City. That area is probably going to have about 2.5 inches of snow on the ground, whereas back down here towards like downtown NYC, pointing to the south southeast, that area is only going to have like an inch and a half or 2 inches of snow on the ground by tomorrow morning. But they should have a better opportunity. I was pretty sure. I was pretty sure they were going to get a better opportunity on the 11th. But it seems like that snowstorm may end up being a Virginia snowstorm for once in 20 billion years. We might actually end up with a Virginia snowstorm where it's strictly the heaviest snowfall totals stay in Virginia. And eastern Kentucky, too. You can see that from the GFS model run. Here. Let me zoom it in more. Notice how much of your snowfall totals are really only in Virginia. They're in Virginia, West Virginia. That's a Virginia snowstorm. Then you do get some higher totals possible in Kentucky, but it's not as far north as we were originally thinking, because I remember like 2 days ago, I swear we were, yeah, I swear we were talking about this being more to the north into like almost New York City. So I don't think New York City's going to end up with any big snowstorms anytime soon. Like I said, you're going to see probably 2-3 inches of snowfall overnight tonight with icing tomorrow morning. And then we'll likely end up with some flurries Tuesday in New York City, but it most likely won't accumulate. And then going into Thursday, you'll probably see a good amount of flurries, but will it actually accumulate? Probably not. If we look at 6-hour snowfall totals, you could see a dusting, 1/2 inch of snow, really not much. If you're talking about shift like so far north that you don't end up with snow in Long Island, this snowstorm here that we're tracking currently, no, it shouldn't shift more north. But the one that's probably going to be strictly in Virginia, it could shift more north. I wouldn't rule it out. But to the point where you end up getting an accumulation on Tuesday, I doubt it for New York City and Long Island. I don't think you'll see it actually accumulate out there, at least on the 11th. So your best opportunity for snow is definitely tonight. We'll see how strictly this is in Virginia, though, because the new GFS has it not strictly Virginia. Same goes for the Canadian has it more in Virginia. It doesn't give nearly as much snow totals to Kentucky. I am in far south central Virginia. Martinsville City is where I am. So I'll have a chance for snow, but unfortunately, I have a pretty good feeling I'm going to end up with a ice storm out of this. Models have been pretty consistent that I'm going to be getting an ice storm out of this. YouTube proxy, you'll probably get an ice storm out of this as well. How far west are you, though? I got to see. You're right here, right? I think that's where you are. So you're just after that little indent there. So you're going to be very close. Probably an inch of snow with mainly ice and mixed precipitation. I don't think it will be anything that will be, like good snow. I don't think you'll get a good snow out of this one. Not like what you saw in January. And I personally believe this is our last opportunity for snow here in Virginia. I think this is our last good chance for the rest of the year until we get into December. We might have maybe one could sneak up at the end of February out of nowhere, but right now I'm really thinking probably going to end up with this being our last shot. Because we're going to start heading on into spring and it's going to start getting spring-like weather quick. We're going to quickly move into spring-like temperatures. Yeah, you can see here, this is the CFS model run. And it generally as we go into March, we should stay above average in most of the southern and central U.S. with only, brief blasts of cool air in the far north, central, and northeastern U.S. Who knows, though? Maybe we'll get a March snowstorm. I do remember, actually, I wouldn't fully count us out for snowstorm opportunity at the end of February and portions of, or rather, some time frame in March, because I remember it was either 2022 or 2021, we had a good March snowstorm out here in Virginia. We've gotten very late season snowstorms in Virginia frequently, so maybe we don't fully count us out, but then again, it wouldn't surprise me if this is our last chance. That would not surprise me at all. Go back over here. So there's your current look at radar out here in the New England states. I'm looking for any higher. Oh, looky there. South of La Crosse, Wisconsin. That's 1.1 inches of snow. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought that was 11. I ain't gonna lie. I thought that was 11 inches of snow. That is 1.1. So the highest is still 10.5 right there. Well to the west of Green Bay. I can't play that one off. I literally thought that was 11 inches of snowfall, not 1. Come on, man. I thought we broke our record. So, I don't think we're going to be able to break that record in the New England states out here. If we do, it would probably be in the lake effect areas, like south of Watertown, where we could get more than 10.5 inches of snowfall. Oh, this is their new forecast. They recently put this one out. And yeah, maybe we can. Maybe we will see up to 14 inches of snowfall. That's crazy. Are they actually forecasting that? 5 to 9 inches of snowfall. However, their official forecast, 12.5. Like, what? I'm going to go to their website here. Let me go to the National Weather Service Syracuse winter weather website. That's not wrong. This is actually what they're forecasting. Yeah, it is. Let me refresh it. They actually put out a new one at 7:16, literally like 12 minutes ago. Here's their newest one. And they still forecast 12 inches of snowfall for Boonville and widespread 10 inches of snowfall. That's their newest one. So this one is outdated. This one's outdated by a couple hours. Not that many hours, but they did just literally release a new one. So hopefully this updates here shortly. I want to see their maximum snowfall forecast. It won't load right now. Come on, load. It ain't loading, y'all. I want to check Boston's too. Because if Syracuse just put out a new one, Boston probably did too. Nope. Nope. Yep, never mind. Look at this. Look, I'll show you. I'll show you what I just saw. So I clicked on their page, right? This one was updated at 3:23 p.m. But they did just actually put out a new one. If you click that site there, still looks the same, right? I mean, let's pull this up in a different tab. Pull this up. So this is the new one. Actually, they increased it for Pittsfield by like 4. Yeah, you could get up to 4 more inches of snowfall according to their newest forecast there. That's the only area I see it change. It changed quite a bit on this side of their forecast right here. Look right here. Western side of Massachusetts, it changed quite a bit. So originally they were forecasting 6 to 8 and 6 to 8. Now they're forecasting 8 to 12 and 8. And can we look at their higher end snowfall forecast? Ooh, wow. Now that's a high end forecast. 15 inches of snow possible in Boston. That is a 10% chance of seeing 15 inches of snow in Boston. That is definitely a high end winter storm forecast right now. That is definitely a high end forecast right there. Let me go ahead and close out those pages there. I've got too many open. Close out that. I'm going to keep this open and put it there. That is definitely a very high end forecast right there. Like I said, I'm going to save that all for our video at the end of February. I don't want to say too many of my thoughts on the tornado season because I don't want to spoil it all. What about... that's really the only areas I'm really interested in. Okay, let me put this at the end. Is this soundings? Okay, we can get rid of those too. Reorganizing all the tabs, y'all. Because they get out of order quickly. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to still continue coverage here on this major winter storm that is ongoing in portions of the northeastern United States. If you're enjoying coverage, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and share the stream with your family, friends, social media. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And we just had a 7.6 magnitude earthquake located in the West Central Caribbean. Tsunami advisories are now out for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. There is no imminent tsunami threat for the mainland U.S. But I just saw that here. I just got back on Twitter and I got the notification for it. That was actually 44 minutes ago. I am late to that one. I am late to that one. I wonder if those advisories just were issued because it said 20 minutes ago for the advisories. No, 5 minutes ago it said for the advisories for the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. 5 minutes ago. Proxy did? Really? Jeez. My bad. That's my fault for not paying very close attention to chat. Yep, so there you go. There's your tsunami advisories up for Puerto Rico and the northwestern U.S. Virgin Islands. And then here is your origin of the earthquake at a 7.6 magnitude at 6:23:15 p.m. I don't know what that is. Are they under something for a tsunami? No, I guess. I guess not. It says threat. See, purple is threat, and that's purple. So, I'm guessing they're under something. And then out here, there's an advisory. Yeah, Cayman Islands, 0.3 to 1 meters. And then Cuba, 1 to 3 meters. Oof. Thank goodness that wasn't in the Gulf. I wonder if that would be a tsunami for the mainland U.S. if we got an earthquake of 7.6 magnitude in the Central Gulf. Because earthquake here, that's going to send out a wave to the north and maybe east as well. That's why they have those advisories out for Puerto Rico. But my question is, why wouldn't they have anything out for, like, say, Jamaica or... It's been a while. It's been ever since hurricane season. Dominican Republic and Haiti. Let's go check. Dominican Republic and Haiti. There you go. Got to relearn some of the Caribbean, man. It's crazy how quickly you forget stuff after you stop using it daily. That's why you have to, let me look. That's why I have to go back over everything and learn throughout live streams when we switch our seasons. When we end up switching seasons, because obviously hurricane season has a lot different things than severe weather season, so. I'm going to keep an eye on some water level stations out there in the Gulf, see if anything raises a flag out there in the Central Caribbean. But I doubt it's going to be anything notable for a tsunami because if something were to happen, it probably would have already happened. Since the earthquake was 50 minutes ago. I mean, shoot, they could have got a tsunami. I would have been completely oblivious. That would be crazy if I'm like 50 minutes late to a tsunami. Let me see. When was the last time we had a big tsunami hit the mainland US? I see in 2015 we had one in Arkansas. And then I see in 2013 we had a tiny one in the northwestern Atlantic Ocean for a tsunami. .8 wave tsunami. Where was this? Tonga Islands. I'm not really, I haven't really dug much into tsunamis or earthquakes. Honestly, it's never really fully interested me weather-wise. But I still know how earthquakes and tsunamis happen. I know how both happen. But it's just not something I keep up with frequently at all. So I don't know like any history of earthquakes or tsunamis in the mainland US. I'm big on severe weather. That's what I'm big on. That's what I'll always be big on. That's what interests me the most. Let's see. I'm going to go over here really quick. And we'll switch to this software. So now we've got heavy snow spreading almost all over New York, now entering western and central Massachusetts, as well as central New Hampshire, in southern and central Vermont as well. So it's really starting to enter the New England states now. New York City should probably be seeing some flurries now. Hello? Is it going to load? There it goes. WSSI above my face cam wasn't loading. Should be getting some snow in New York City here. First, I want to check Williamsport though, because that's a area that's being hit with a heavy band. Still not too heavy. It's night out, so it's difficult to see the snow. That's why Wednesday, I imagine Wednesday we're probably going to have a more long duration. I hope a more long duration winter storm coverage, because it will be day, but who knows. I never know until I actually start streaming. Let's see. Oh yeah, I wanted to go check if New York City's getting snow. NYDOT traffic cams. It's going to be 511 New York. This is GR Earth that you're looking at right now. It's GR Earth. It's associated with, you guessed it, GR2 analysis. So it's my favorite for snowstorms. I don't use it very often in severe weather. I use it really, really often for winter weather. It's my main go-to for winter weather, because it looks the best in my opinion. All right, let's see if it's snowing in New York. Really, anywhere in New York it could be snowing. Oh, great. I got to get one that has the right amount of lighting. Oh, it's going to be impossible to tell. You know what? Instead of looking at traffic cams, I'm going to pull up radar scope. I'm going to look at MPing reports. Yep. There's MPing reports of snow in downtown New York City at 7:36 p.m. Eastern Time. So it's most likely snowing in New York City. Probably not heavily, but at least some snow. Ooh, you know what? I just figured it out. I just figured this out. Now that I looked at GR2 analysis, this is all sleet. So this, quote, heavier snow that I was talking about is all sleet. So this whole area is actually sleet to freezing rain. That red is freezing rain, this orange is sleet, and this blue is sleet as well. So Williamsport's probably not seeing heavy snow because it looks like it's sleet. You can see that on correlation coefficient. All right, I'll see you later, Legacy. I'll be live Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's the plan. And hopefully a video. Let me give you a time for a video on Monday. Hopefully, I think it would be 4 p.m. is when I upload. I have a schedule for every day on when the best time for uploading is. So for Mondays, it would be 5 p.m. When is the... Ooh. You know what? Scratch that video on Monday. I could probably put one out tomorrow instead of Monday. I bet I could get one out tomorrow. Because I won't be that busy until after 6. Which is why I can't do a live stream. But I bet I'd be able to get a video out tomorrow instead of Monday. I just want to get a video out either Monday or tomorrow or Monday. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. If I don't have a video out at 5 o'clock tomorrow, then that means I'll have a video out hopefully at 5 o'clock Monday. There you go. Monday, tomorrow or Monday, I should get a video out. It just depends on which one I feel like choosing more. All right, there's 6 inches of snow out there in Ludington, Michigan. That was the one area I called out for potentially seeing 6 or greater inches of snowfall in western Michigan. And you guys have actually received 6 inches of snowfall there over the course of 7 hours, according to that report. It's been snowing for 7 hours out there? Jeez. It's been a long duration event out there. That whole MCD and most of central and all of western Pennsylvania just expired. It expired at 7:45 Eastern, which is right now. Mute this. Okay, there we go. Checking something real quick. So once again, we're tracking this major winter storm across the northeastern portions of the U.S. Make sure you are indoors, not on roads. That's the biggest thing out here. If you're in the impacted areas, just don't be on the roads, because that's going to be your most dangerous part of every winter storm. It's always the roads. The roads are always the most dangerous place in any winter storm. So just stay home. Don't go on the roads unless it's an emergency, and you'll be perfectly fine. And I don't think this will end up being as big of a ice storm as we originally thought, at least for most of Pennsylvania, because of that extra snow we're seeing. It will still be quite the snowstorm out here for these ice, or rather, quite the ice storm for these ice storm warned areas. But outside of that, hopefully we won't see as bad of ice storm impacts, like see up to 2 inches of an inch of ice. That's a pretty good amount of ice. Hopefully that doesn't end up verifying. Right now, according to reports inside the ice storm warnings, we've gotten up to 1/10 of an inch of ice. And I believe they're calling for, what, up to almost... Yeah, I was going to say 1/2 inch of ice. They're calling for 4/10 of an inch of ice being possible. So hopefully the ice portion of this storm does underperform, because that's also a very dangerous part to a winter storm. It's the ice and then the roads. Where are you again? Newark, Ohio. I want to see, because you're going to have a chance Thursday. I want to see how high of a chance you're going to have, though. I keep thinking that's northern Ohio. I don't know why. I don't think you're going to be in the best chance then. Nope. You'll probably end up with no snow. There may be an opportunity for some flurries, but I highly doubt it will be anything more than flurries or nothing. So that drought is still continuing. Ohio has just not... Central Ohio has just not gotten a lot of snow. I'm going to go look at your total snow analysis for this year. Have you guys even gotten any snow yet? Let's see. Yeah, Central Ohio, there's actually pockets that have Pockets that have only gotten about 3-4 inches of snow in the entire year this year. And that's probably right where you are, Miller. And then Iowa. Iowa is big time lacking in winter storms. Especially far southeastern Nebraska, far southwestern Iowa. They have really been lacking in snow. In snow. And I don't think that's going to change. They could pick up on like 2 to 4 inches of snow, which is more than what they've currently seen in the entire year. But a good snowstorm for Iowa, I doubt we'll see it unless, hold on a second. I was using the wrong map. I was using the wrong map yet again. We could end up with a good snowstorm for Iowa in potentially 2 days, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and maybe if it's far enough south on Saturday too. So I think Ohio's got a pretty good chance for some good snow in southwestern Iowa, southeastern Nebraska. You've gotten 15 inches of snow? Are you really complaining about not getting more than 15 inches of snowfall? There's some areas in Iowa that, or rather, there's some areas in Ohio that haven't even seen 5 inches of snowfall yet. 15 inches of snow? Dude, I think you've gotten enough snow. Let me look at your average. Your average is about 20 inches of snow. So you're barely under your average. Now, if we look at the average snow in, let's say, an area that's I know is below average, Omaha. What is the average snow in Omaha, Nebraska? Average snow in Omaha, Nebraska is 30 inches of snow. You want to know how much they've gotten this year? You ready for this absurd number? Less than an inch. They have not even received what is qualified as a trace of snow so far this year. Omaha is more than 29 inches of snow below average. They do have a chance. There is an opportunity Omaha gets as much as, let me see. There's a chance Omaha receives as much as 9 inches of snowfall over the next week. That would be the first chance for between about 5 to 6 inches of snowfall would be on Wednesday night and Thursday morning. And then an additional 4 inches of snowfall, maybe even slightly more than that, could happen on Saturday. Their best chance by far, though, is definitely Wednesday. Most likely, Omaha will receive their first good amount of snow since the entire year began Wednesday night. You guys should get a good solid, I'd say Omaha's probably going to get a good solid 6 inches of snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Can't tell you about Saturday's snowstorm, which is a week from today. It might shift north, it might shift south. We'll just have to see what happens with that. Dude, I would be jumping up and down and I would be extremely excited if I got 15 inches of snowfall over the course of an entire 3-month winter season. Are you kidding me? I would not be mad at all. I don't care if it was 2 inches of snow here, 3 inches of snow here, 4 inches here, 2 inches of snow here, and rinse and repeat that every single week or so. 15 inches of snow is 15 inches of snow, man. You will never catch me complaining about that unless it is all at one time. I think if I got 15 inches of snow in like a 12-hour period, I might complain because it may be too much for me. Like, after a foot of snowfall, that's when I start to think a little bit more of, like, that's enough. A foot of snowfall, that's enough. I don't really want much more than a foot. Because I don't even need to shovel it. I love snow. I wouldn't need to go anywhere. I mean, if it sticks around for more than like 5 days, but most of the time here in Virginia, our snow is gone within 3 days. Like, we'll have little poops of snow linger around, but within 3 days, it's majority of it's gone. The only time it's really impactful is the night of and then the morning of. So if we get snow, say, Tuesday morning, and it lasts all the way till Tuesday night, that night and then the Wednesday morning would be the most impactful time. So you just wouldn't go out. Just don't go outside between Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, and then you're good to go. And then by the time you get into Wednesday evening, you've probably lost most of your snow, and then Thursday, a lot of it's all cleared. Yeah, there's little layers of rotation here in Tennessee. I don't think any of them will be able to produce a tornado. There's the chance for some isolated damaging winds up to 50 miles per hour today, but that's really about it. We might be able to see some little areas of rotation and maybe a wall cloud here and there, but an actual tornado being produced, I doubt we'll actually see a tornado today. But all right. Well, that's my 2 hours of coverage done. That's what I plan to do. Flash warning in the background. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate the mods from on chat. We're going to go ahead and wrap up our coverage here. We'll be back here with a live stream at 6 p.m. Monday. I can't guarantee a video between now and that live stream, but I'll try my best to release a video either tomorrow at sometime tomorrow at or before 5 p.m. Eastern and or at 5 p.m. Eastern Monday. So we'll just see. We'll see. I don't know for sure. I'd love to do a video. I'm not sure if I'll have the time for it. That'll be something I'll have to figure out either tomorrow or Monday. But I'll definitely be live Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I can guarantee a live stream Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll try to release a video either tomorrow or sometime tomorrow or at 5 p.m. Monday. We'll just see. We'll see. We'll just see what happens. But again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Saturday and enjoy your last weekday or your last weekend day before we head back on into our weekdays, starting with Monday in 2 days. So yeah, stay safe, watch severe weather, watch the snowfall. See you guys in the next one. And thank you, mods, for Mon Chat, everyone being here. I've talked a little bit too long, so the outro music will be cut just a bit. Stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Stay safe to you on Monday's live stream. Have